Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. I am your host, Alberto Calderon. Thank you for joining us on this Walking Star Wars Saturday. I am joined, as always, by our co-host, Oti, down there in Puerto Rico. How are you doing today, Oti?
I'm doing good. I have the best setup I've had since I started moving. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll toast to that. You're right this time.
I have a desk. I have a chair.
You're not on the floor. You're not sitting on pillows. You're good. You're not inside a closet. You're fine.
Yes.
Yeah, man. How you been doing? It's been a week. I don't know. It feels longer since last time we spoke. It hasn't been that much.
It does. Yeah. Like when I was waiting for you to join the stream, I was like thinking like it feels like it's been 2 weeks. And I actually checked when was the last episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really feels like it.
Yeah, I know. But it's gonna start getting busy. I think it's because Star Wars has been pretty kind of mellow these past few weeks.
Yeah.
I know we have Rogue One just came out, just re-released with some 10 minutes Andor footage. We'll kind of glance over that in a few minutes, but all in all, there hasn't been a lot of Star Wars news out there. But anything exciting this week? Star Wars related, maybe?
Star Wars related? No, man. I told you I've been like very busy with work, so
yeah,
I haven't really done much. I watched House of the Dragon, which I think we'll talk about later.
Maybe.
Okay. So other than that, not really, man. I don't know. It's been quiet. I did want to go see the Rogue One in the IMAX, but since we saw it like 2 weeks ago, it's like fine.
So yeah, guys, if you're watching this now, if you didn't get a chance to go to watch Rogue One, or even if you did, you want to watch it with us, Oti was here, Andres was here, Roberto, Mo. We had a great 2.5 hours watching Rogue One, going over it. So go ahead, look at somewhere there in the channel. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars related, not a lot for me this week. I was at a University of Florida volleyball game this afternoon. Just got back from there a couple of hours ago. That's why no Star Wars shirt or anything today, but doesn't matter. I guess Star Wars, there was some news out of a newspaper in Puerto Rico saying that finally, Puerto Rico has its own Star Wars podcast. That caught you by surprise, being a Star Wars podcaster from Puerto Rico, doing this about 2 years. You have your own show in Spanish. Caught you by surprise?
I mean, like on one side, it's Primera Hora, which is one of the largest newspapers in Puerto Rico, but they're kind of a joke. And I don't know. I talked to Goose for a while about this, and it's frustrating, like in the sense, like I always say, like I do my podcast. I don't care how many people listen to it. If it's 10, 1,000, I really don't care. But it's kind of weird. Like
yeah. We talked a little bit before we started, and we kind of posted about it on Twitter. It goes for Trial Before. It's kind of found it, posted out. And again, good for them. They're getting the recognition, but it's kind of, really? You're a respectable news organization from Puerto Rico, and you don't do a little bit of due diligence to know that not only are there a lot of Star Wars podcasters out there, they're doing it in Spanish. They're either from Puerto Rico or doing it in Puerto Rico like you, and trying all those. What's funny, but at the same time, it's like, come on, just a little bit.
Just something I want to comment. Like what did like bug me? It's something I also told Goose. Like I despise the critic and pundit atmosphere in Puerto Rico. They're usually like very elitist, and they try to like make these comments that sound very eloquent. But if you like spend time in Twitter, you know they're just like repeating the same things that get to the point that they no longer make any sense. Like, oh, the story's incoherent. Why? Because it is. Okay. But
read those before.
For me, that like adds to that atmosphere, so that kind of bugs me. But yeah, whatever. It's not gonna change anything. I guess.
No, the fans out there know. And if you're watching us today, whenever you've been watching us for 1 day, 2 years, thank you for your support. If you're watching from Puerto Rico, you know about us. We've been doing this for a while, same as OT and everyone else. But yeah, like this video if you're watching now or later. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our new episodes. And comment down below. Today we're going to be talking a lot about Andor. It's Andor speculation time. We're less than a month away. We're going to be debuting a new segment to the show because, and I'll get more into it when we do it, but there's just so much out there in geek culture that I just wanted to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do a new show, like a separate one. But we'll talk about it. A World Between Fandoms. We'll do about 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the show because we can spend 2 hours talking about everything. But yeah. All right.
Quick,
and yeah,
okay,
go.
no,
I'll
go.
do this thing. Go ahead.
Quick pause. So we started the World Between Worlds in my
Yes.
podcast. So it's funny because that was one of the names I had planned for, and it's like a similar thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's similar but different. But
yeah, if you go ahead and describe what you do on your show now, one of the segment, but it's kind of a whole show that you do about it.
Yeah, it's like branded differently and everything. But yeah, so I'm starting to do these episodes where we take like another movie, show, comic, whatever, and we like discuss it, but through the lens of Star Wars, like common themes, common character arcs, things like that. And we did one with Ted Lasso, and I'm planning one. I'm gonna say it. We're playing one on Into the Spider-Verse next.
Nice.
I have to talk to the guest I'll have, which will be a part of the sequel trilogy trivia, so that's gonna be fun.
Ooh,
yeah,
I might have an idea. No, sequel trilogy. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, they reach out and they say, "Oh, I have this idea." I'm like, "Let's do it." So it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah,
I have to talk to them because I that was when I was moving, but it's gonna happen.
All right. Yeah, you asked me about it a few weeks ago, and I said, Doctor Who, because that's where kind of my time has been spent right now. But the Lord of the Rings, I might want to do one about Lord of the Rings. I've been rewatching, just getting ready for Rings of Power. I did, of course, an extended edition of Fellowship. I did Two Towers yesterday. There's so much to talk about.
I haven't rewatched them in a while, but I will for Rings of Power. So let's do it. Yeah.
Well, you got to start because this comes out next week.
I don't think if I have the time, because if I binge them, like I don't think it's enough.
No, dude, Two Towers Special Edition is almost 4 hours. It's 20 minutes is credits, but still.
I love those movies, but honestly, watching them is a chore, and I have no intentions in watching the theatrical versions anymore.
No. All right, so let's do this quiz. So the Amidala Initiative for Equality Equality Texas. Florida is just a mess also, but just help them out. Down the link below is all the information you need. And also for the National Network of Abortion Funds and What Choice Fundraiser, still going strong. Alti, before we start, who's out there in the chat?
Oh, yes. So we have the Scaris Scuttlebutt podcast. They're not going to be able to join, but they'll catch the stream later. We have, of course, Mo.
Oh.
She's glad to see them. Damn it. Oh, wait, what happened? No.
You're there. You got it.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, she's glad to see that I'm out of the closet. Yes, Mo, I'm out of the closet.
We all are.
Yes. Dale.
Yes. Dale made it. He unfortunately usually comments that he just missed one because he's very busy out there. Thanks for joining us live, Dale. Also, always a pleasure when he's here.
Yes. All
right, guys. So if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars, and it's Andor speculation. We're just going to be talking about Andor. It's coming. This should have been out already. There you go. Speculate responsibly, like the 4th century people always say. I used to say hypothesizing in hyperspace just to have a different take on it. But then I forgot about it, and it never catched on, so that's fine. But I want to start. Rogue One, we just mentioned, got re-released on theaters. I think a 10-minute preview of Andor. Did you get first? Is it showing in Puerto Rico, and did you get a chance to go watch it?
Yes, it's showing in. We have two or three IMAX theaters. I don't know, but yeah, it's showing. I wanted to catch it, but like I told you, since we rewatched it recently for the stream, I have not gone to see it, and I don't think I will. I'm sorry. I'm very busy also.
No, it's understandable. The closest theater to me that's showing it is over 100 miles away in Jacksonville.
Oh no.
Gainesville didn't get it, and same reason. We just watched it about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
It'll be
no.
great to see it on the big screen, but I'm not driving 100 miles, paying $20 at a movie theater for a ticket, 15 or 20 something more in concessions to see a movie I saw 2 weeks ago with the
Yeah,
best audience, of course.
yeah, no.
But and I haven't checked anything out about the preview, that 10-minute preview. I think it's an extended version of the little clip that we got a couple days ago.
Mhm.
I just read kind of, there was a Twitter thread about it. I read the first one. I said, what am I doing? I don't want to know. Do you want to know what happened, or just wait the extra 3 weeks before?
Nope. I'm gonna confess something.
Oh
I
no,
have
here we
not
go.
watched the clip, and I don't intend on doing so. And I did not watch. I did not tell you on purpose because I did not want you to change the plans.
No, I'm not changing the plans. I'm
No,
just scratching out where it says, let's talk about the clip. 'Cause
no,
you
but I
didn't
want
watch
you
it.
to talk about the clip.
Well, I will. That's fine. I
No,
just give you a little bit of power, and that's it. I'll just take it away.
I'm already on that phase that I'm like, just give me the show.
Yeah,
So,
which is what's today? It should have come out this Wednesday.
Yeah.
We should be talking about the first episode, the first 2 episodes right now with our guest Maggie Lovett. I just confirmed she'll be here with us September 24th to talk about those first 3 episodes. We should be talking about Andor, but it's okay. Like you mentioned, we have House of the Dragon, She-Hulk is going, Rings of Power next week.
we have an
Let's run a little
exclusive.
bit. Oh,
Mo watched the.
oh, Mo. So I might have to send Mo the link to talk about the clip instead of you. But so yeah, so what Mo was saying, preview was great. Nice to see some scenes with Andor on the big screen. Looked phenomenal. Great to hear.
I will say, seeing the 10-minute clip on the IMAX did like make me want to go watch it. But
Yeah, but we're gonna. It also shows how confident they are that this show looks cinematic to show it on IMAX to everyone. And from what I heard, this came out before Rogue One. So you have to watch Rogue One, then go through the credits, and then the clip. It starts with the clip, so it's we're convinced that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, because I love Kenobi. I don't know how that would look on an IMAX.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, this is kind of apart from Andor, but not really because it's Star Wars TV. Do you think, and I started thinking about this, I think watching She-Hulk for some reason, is it diluting Star Wars a little bit? Or maybe not diluting, but does it feel weird that we're getting all these new Star Wars shows so recently? Kind of, we're getting like 3 Star Wars shows this year, and then next year it's about 3 more. I don't know. It's not about getting burned out about it, but I don't know. We're used to Star Wars kind of just coming out every couple of years. And I was all in favor of just give me all the Star Wars. I don't care. Every day they give me something, but I don't know. I'm kind of, maybe let's hold on after this.
I will say I'm not feeling that. I am feeling this with Marvel, actually.
Okay.
I have not watched She-Hulk, but it's so weird. It's happened to me with Miss Marvel. Every time I watch an episode, I have not finished that show.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I watch an episode, I'm like, that was great.
Yeah.
I can wait to watch the next one.
Sure.
And I think Star Wars has not gotten to the Marvel level yet, to where like just constantly throwing things at us. If it does, I think it could get to that level. But with Star Wars, at least, I'm still like excited for everything that's coming.
Yeah.
And the lead up to it has me like very excited too. So
yeah,
I think
it might be because I'm not. I don't know. I'm gonna watch it, of course, but maybe I'm not that excited for Ahsoka, for Bad Batch, even Mando, which I love the first 2 seasons. Maybe I'm not as excited as I am for Andor, and I'm like, let's just wait a little bit, and then we have Skeleton Crew, and I don't know.
Quick question. Because this happens to me, especially with the Star Wars shows, not with the movies. Does it happen that you're not as excited, but then when you're like weeks away, you're like, oh, it's actually happening? Like, okay.
Yes, and let's first Andor. I've said it 20,000 times. It's been my most anticipated Star Wars series since it got announced, and then Acolyte came, and that kind of just went head to head. But I've been extremely excited for Andor, so I don't feel that I'm very excited. I just want it here. Ahsoka, I'm a little, even though I love the character, I like the character, especially in Rebels. I'm kind of on the maybe on a low right now with Ahsoka, maybe with the creative team behind it, that I'm not as excited for that show. And I think that's why every time there's a new Ahsoka something or Filoni says something like, okay, whatever, just give me something else. I think
I
it's that. But once I see something, a real trailer, not that potato camera, then probably I'll get excited at that point.
I get that, especially with Ahsoka, but I have a feeling like they're gonna knock it out of the park,
Yeah.
and
And
Filoni's gonna go back to God tier.
I hope. And it's the same for Mando. I say, Mando, I don't want Mando anywhere. When he showed up in Boba Fett, I'm like, oh man, that music that we talked last week, like, okay, I love you, Mando. I'm sorry. So I think it's that. Once it gets here, I'll put my shield cap back on and we'll go full force. But okay, so Andor. Let's speculate responsibly what we can from trailers, interviews, and just our own thoughts. So before we get to that little like 30, 45-second clip that we got, I think on Wednesday, the trailer. We're all excited about the trailer. It looked great. Can you get any hints from the trailer what might happen during the season? Because most of it is just kind of the Empire just kind of looming over everything.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what's gonna happen with this season, honestly. And every time we hear more about what's going on, it confuses me even more because I thought this was gonna be like a Andor and Mon Mothma buddy cop thing, and it's apparently not that.
No,
So,
that's not. That's a good one. Maybe season 2 they'll do that.
you read the book Free Fall, the
No,
Paul
that's the
Dameron
Paul
book?
Dameron one. No, I didn't read
Yeah.
Freefall.
So, quick spoiler for that book. So, Poe is in his own adventure, and at the end, he sees a Leia hologram. He sees
Okay.
her giving a speech in the Imperial Senate and the Republic Senate, and he gets like very inspired, and he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I would love to work for her. And I kind of get a feeling that we might get something like that.
Mhm.
That we get these Mon Mothma on the political adventure and Andor in his planet doing his thing, and maybe at the end he like learns about Mothma or something, and that's how they get connected for season 2.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm like very confused to what the whole thing is about.
Yeah. So I think you're on the right track. And I think they're going to be on separate points. I think there's something in that clip that might help kind of bridge that, not that gap, but I guess that distance gap between Cassian and Mon Mothma. But yeah, I think Cassian's going to be on his side doing whatever he's doing, and Mon Mothma is going to be dealing with the Republic, I mean, with the Empire, with the Senate, and all that on that political end. And they won't meet till probably later on in the season. I don't think it's going to be that he sees something from her. Maybe he meets her, and that's when he gets kind of more, okay, this is the way we should go. But yeah, I think that trailer kind of shows us the Empire is everywhere, destroying planets, everyone's suffering. And that's when we get a couple of people on the trailer. Kind of, this is what it's not exactly, but this is what a rebellion looks like. And Andor is kind of sick and tired, getting beaten down. So I think it'll halfway through this, it will come to a point that they're okay, we're done. We gotta respond. But then in that little clip, we've seen on the trailer when he's talking about how easy it is to go into the Empire. They'll never think that someone like me would belong. And he's talking to Stellan Skarsgård character, Luthen Rael Luthen. No, just call him Luthen. So Luthen apparently, do you mind? I'll tell you what the clip is about. So Luthen apparently just hired Cassian to get him some credits. I forget exactly what it was. And then Luthen is confronting him. Hey, you and Biggs, which is the character played by Adriana Horna, Puerto Rico. Maybe she knows who's that first Puerto Rican podcast. We're going to just get her here and we'll just talk about it. Anywho, so Luthen is telling Andor, hey, I know you, Biggs and you kind of bribe the dock masters to let you go and rummage through all the ships here before the salvage crew comes in and takes everything. But this that you just pulled, this is something else. So apparently Cassian went to an Imperial vault somewhere and stole some bucks. And then Luthen is confronting him. Hey, how the hell do you get inside an Imperial vault? This is close. And that's when he goes, really? Going into Imperial, just walking like you belong. They're fat and satisfied. And they don't think that he even says someone like me that I just spit on their food and something. So he's just saying how easy it is to enter an Imperial vault or an academy or whatever. So I think this is where Luthen is going to say, okay, this is the guy I need. I need you to help me get inside the Empire for something.
Mhm.
And I think Luthen is going to be the bridge between Cassian and Mon Mothma. He's going to introduce them or do something. Because we see Luthen with Mon Mothma in a
Yes.
couple of scenes. So I think it's going to be the bridge to bring them together. But yeah, like you said, just later on in the season, not at they won't see each other for the first 8 or 9 episodes at least.
Yeah. Mo has some thoughts. People slowly rising up against the Empire, Mothma and Luthen in the Senate doing the same, Cassian being brought into the Greater Rebellion by the end. Yeah, I think that's makes sense from
Yeah.
what we've seen.
All right.
By
So
the way, I love that they're playing into the whole the Empire is extremely incompetent line.
yeah, which is fun. I tweeted this out yesterday, maybe the day before, and it's something I've been thinking about for years. Is how the hell do people keep stealing Imperial shuttles, using all these old codes? Oh, it might work, it might not. Oh, it's an old code, but it checks out. Every single one does it. How crap can they get in? And then we just walk in, and then in that clip, Cassian said, all you need is an Imperial uniform, something, and a toolkit, and you're good to go. I'm like, oh, okay, because they're incompetent, as we can obviously see.
Yeah.
All right. So Mon Mothma, she's gonna have a big role. I think she's built second in this series, Genevieve O'Reilly behind Diego Luna. So we know this is half her show. One thing I said, I can't remember if it was here or some other show I was a while back. This isn't the Andor show. I know it's called Andor, but don't think we're just gonna be following Cassian for 12 episodes. This is gonna be a very diverse show in terms of all the cast that we have. And I think we're gonna get a lot with Mon Mothma. Are you excited to finally get to see a lot of her and hopefully see the inner workings of the Senate under the Empire?
Yes, that's I think one of the things that has me the most excited for the show. I totally agree with you. I think it's gonna be bigger than Andor, and I've liked what they've done. At first it was like, yeah, no, Genevieve O'Reilly's coming back. Like, okay, she'll probably get an episode or two, and now it's like, no, co-protagonists. So I like that, man. And, justice for her, man. Like,
yes,
I remember seeing those deleted scenes when I was a kid. I was like, at first I thought it was the same actress from Return of the Jedi, and I was like, why would they cut this? And then seeing her come back in Rogue One, and then seeing her have the chance to come back here, for this show, I'm just so happy for her.
Yeah, same. Extremely happy for her and extremely excited for what her role, Mon Mothma's role, is going to be. We talked about it here before, how we want this show just to show us the inner working of the Empire, the regular people working both for the rebels and for the Empire. It looks like we're going to get that. But yeah, I just want to see, how did everything came to where a bunch of senators had to say, you know what, screw this, we got to do something ourselves. Because by this point, it's been like 15 years, I don't know, even more, that the Empire has been in power. No. So they've been fighting for this for a while.
And Alex Damon from Star Wars Explained has been, hammering on this for a while, and I kind of agree. Like, will we see the delegation of 2000? Like, that group that started in Revenge of the Sith, were like planning the rebellion. Will we see some of those characters come back? That, man, Bale has to be on the show. Like, he has to be.
I didn't, on my notes, I don't have, will Bale be here? So what is Bale Organa's role? He's there. He has to be there. And he's going to mention Padme.
Give me Bale, give me Breha, give me Leia.
Give me Leia. I know, because, man, I love the team behind the scenes working under the Tony Gilroy, and they're just talking. They don't care. We have more information about season 2 than we do season 1. But I love that he just goes on. And he said, oh, we're not doing fan service for fan service. I said, just give me. I don't care. Give me fan. I'm the fan. Service me. I want everything.
By the way, that's probably the most misquoted thing I've ever seen. Like the headline, no fan service. And then that's not what he says.
No, he has to service the story or something. He said,
yeah, that's like, oh, when we do fan service, it can't just be frosting. It has to be protein. So it's like, that's not what he said.
That's a weird story.
That's a weird story.
All right. So I'm just going to highlight something real quick. that Mo said, because it was my next point. On an interview with Genevieve O'Reilly, she said it's very interesting playing this character, and then Mon Mothma has been married since the age of 16 and has been in the Senate for all these years. And a lot of people, including myself, were like, first like,
What?
oh, great. And then, wait, what?
What?
16? What's going on? Do you think this is not a misquote, but maybe she kind of spoke out of turn, kind of messed slip of the tongue of what she was trying to say, or
I have no idea. Like at first, I thought could this be like something that
yeah.
was taken out of context, but I have no idea, and I'm very interested.
Yeah, I was talking. I posted it on Twitter also. I mean, like we all do. And our friend Buck kind of replied back, "Oh, Roberto, say how you doing, Roberto? Thanks for joining us." He didn't know what the call was. I kind of saying said, "Oh, hopefully it's a slip of the tongue or something." I hope it's that, and that maybe she was trying to say that Mon Mothma has been in the Senate since she was 16 and got married young, and everything just got caught up in the as she was talking, because we have all done that.
Or maybe the show is just like a commentary on the right to choose or something.
Oh, I wouldn't put it
I
past
don't
them.
know. Just
And we
ask
don't,
Tony. Someone should ask Tony Gilroy. He'll be like,
yes,
"Yeah, no, in episode 2 we're gonna get."
yeah, and it might be something like, yes, he was forced to marry young, and then he makes a commentary about that, but it's not, yeah, I married at 16, and here we go. It's like, oh, weird. I don't know the customs of Chandrilia, but who knows? Um, Finishing up a little bit, talking about the Senate, and you said it for Kenobi, I'll say it here. There is no show, no way where Emperor Palpatine doesn't appear on the Andor TV series. Are you backing me up, or are we not getting the Emperor?
This is gonna be so weird, but I'm not so confident on this.
How dare you?
The thing. Okay. Hear me out. I can see the story play out without Palpatine. What this story is. It was very hard for me to see Anakin's story play out in Kenobi without Palpatine. That's my whole reasoning on this. This is not in any way me saying I don't want to see him in the show. I do. Like Ian McDermott, he has his years, so let's just shove in him everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm not like 100% sure about this. I'm more on the side like he'll be on it, but not 100%.
All right, you're wrong. It's okay. We need to disagree once in a while.
I'd be happy to be wrong, like extremely happy.
I'm on the other side where I say there's no way you can do a show about the rebellion and the ins and out happening inside the government and the Senate without bringing the guy that responsible for all this. And to see that side of Palpatine kind of as the Emperor after everything that happened with the Jedi at the end of Revenge of the Sith, how he maintains control by the time that we get to A New Hope when Tarkin kind of goes, oh, he's kind of done with the Senate. Everyone's gone now. The regional governors are the ones in control. I want to see that. I want to see Palpatine, or Emperor Palpatine as the Emperor, and how he kind of intimidates people without having to use the Force, just with his mind and how intelligent he is. I want to see that, and also going head to head with Mon Mothma. Just sit both of them down in a office for 5 minutes and 10 minutes and have a great conversation. I hope that we get something like that.
So I really want to see him in the show, because we do know that the Empire, they're authoritarian, but they respect the process in a way, and their abuse is through the process. They exploit the institutions and everything to what they want to do. But Palpatine's like, no, we still have to seem like a legitimate government. So I really want to. If Palpatine is in the show, I really want to see him like give this grand speech in the Senate, like maneuvering through the whole "I'm a dark wizard" thing.
Yeah, maybe Mon Mothma and Bail Organa have gathered all these senators behind them, and then Palpatine kind of shows up in the middle of the Senate and brings them back to his cause, kind of all those outsiders or whatever.
It would be so interesting if we got a scene like what you mentioned, like maybe Mothma and Palpatine in his office, and this like very tense scene. She's not gonna die, but maybe him like, maybe you should side with me more than you're doing, because It would be a
Masamida shows
shame.
up.
The tongue.
I want Masamida there also. Just give me that big blue guy there.
Yeah.
All right, so talking about Mon Mothman, the rebellions, and the rebels, you have her side being more, like you said, also like the Empire is very political motivated and has all these steps that we need to follow. Then the other side of the rebellion, you have our friend Saw Gerrera, which we saw in the trailer talking about, let's call it what it is, war.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is 5 years before Rogue One? You think we're, and I know Rebels is between this period also, and by that time of Rebels, Saw Gerrera is already doing his stuff. I don't know where Andor fits at that point. Do you think we'll see that separation when Saw Gerrera kind of goes, okay, screw this, I'm doing things my way? Or will he already be separated? He's with his partisans doing his stuff on his own way while Mon
So
Mothman's over there being political.
I don't know. Um, it's funny because I think too, like, based on the date this show takes place on, he should already be like this radical.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually like prefer story beats and for the
Mm-hmm.
service of the story rather than keeping up with dates. So I hope we see the rift. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so. We've seen so much of Saw Gerrera, but we haven't seen that when that rift happened. And was it that he decided to leave, or did Mon Mothman just kind of had enough and told him to just, hey, just go do your stuff, but keep our name out of your mouth so we don't get into trouble. And maybe she sent him to do a mission and he just kind of went rogue and it's ultimately her fault or something. She's just trying to cover herself.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I hope we get enough with Saw Gerrera and not just that one scene we got in the trailer. Hopefully he's there for a couple of episodes.
That I don't know. I don't know if he'll be like along for the. I mean, if they want to keep Forrest Whitaker, yeah, sure. Like, but I don't know. I kind of have the vibe that he'll be like in and out a couple times.
And that's fine. I just
Yeah.
wish that scene that we got in the trailer is not all of it. An extended 2-minute scene of something.
Hey.
Hopefully he's there once or twice at least.
He's in the poster, so that really can mean anything. But
Yeah, I don't trust the posters. Even the trailers. I mean, Mon Mothma has been on it. Sorry?
Rose got a character poster for Rise of Skywalker. And
Let's not bring the sequel trilogy into this.
okay. Mo wants
of course she wants Saw to be an integral. She loves Saw.
Mo just wants a Andor to be Rogue One.
Yeah, just Andor, psych, Rogue One, 12 weeks in a row. Yeah, just give us Saw. He's great. Forrest Whitaker did great with that character. So hopefully we get enough of him.
No.
But we just mentioned a little bit about timelines. This is 5 years before Rogue One. It's a little girl, let me say, a young woman out there around the age of 15, known as Liana Halleck, Gene Erso, and some other names. At this point, she's either about to get kicked out from the partisans, or is already out. Are we getting a young Gene Erso?
I don't think so.
I agree.
I think that when we meet, when we'll see Saw, he will already have left her, like lying around. So I don't think we're gonna see her. I mean, if Felicity Jones wants to show up, like, yeah, sure, but I don't think we're gonna see her.
Yeah, same. This already happened. Read Rebel Rising. It was great. She suffered a lot. She rebuilt her life, and then it all came crashing down. Thanks to Saw. But yeah, I don't think that we'll see her now. I do think we'll see her in season 2. With season 2 being those year jumps, I think we'll see her in those last 3.
Okay, I'm not convinced of this. I really am not. But people, read Rebel Rising. It's a great book. It's really a great book.
Yeah, it's great. Poor Gene Erso.
And Mo is convinced that Gene Erso will be in the book.
And I agree with you, Mo. But we'll see. Bail Organa, kind of talked a little bit about him. we both kind of agree that he's gonna be here. Hopefully, he has a big impact. If you get me to choose, you want 4 episodes with Saw Gerrera or 4 episodes with Bail Organa? I'll take 4 with Bail Organa because I think for the story, his side, at least for what I want, it's a little bit more interesting.
No, I totally agree. Totally
Right.
agree.
So we're getting Bail. We can agree on that one.
There's not a chance in hell where Vale is
Uh,
not on the show.
and I'm going to mention now because you sent me this. I was gonna leave it for the end, but it kind of I wanna weave it in this way. R2D2,
Oh,
C3PO. Are they
because
gonna continue the streak of being in almost every, apart from I guess Mando? They've been in everything. So
no, R2 was in Mando,
R2 was in Mando. Come on, dude. How can I forget
and
that? C3PO.
3PO was in Kenobi, and
R2
R2
was in
was in
Kenobi.
Boba
In
Fett.
the, yeah.
Oh
Wasn't
yeah,
yeah, serving drinks. I think he was serving
yeah,
drinks.
yeah. So they're basically in everything.
Yeah. So they'll be there.
If we go to Alderaan, we're gonna get the cameo. Like
Yeah.
I'm confident.
So that's where I was leaning. If we get Bail Organa, which we kind of agree he'll be there, at this point in the story, they are his droids. So if Bail is there, hopefully we go to Alderaan. They'll be there.
2 weeks ago, we talked about breaking tradition. Is this a tradition you would like to see broken, or would mind if got broken?
I don't care.
Okay, I don't care either. I had to think hard if.
Look, I just forgot that R2D2 was in Mando. And he was part of my biggest tweet ever because I tweeted something about Din Djarin not knowing who R2D2 was. And I just forgot he was there. So I don't care. It doesn't. There he goes. Oh, I know that droid. I don't care if they're there or not, but it'll be good.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they'll be there. They have to. Where am I? Okay, let's go through some of these more cameos that we might see. Call them what you want, cameos, fan service, whatever. Same thing with time frame. So Solo was, I think, 13 to 10 years before A New Hope. So halfway between here, 5 years. We know Enfys Nest at the end of the Solo novelization, if you guys read that, takes the coaxium to Saw Gerrera. So there's a connection there. Mm-hmm. I really, really hope that we get something with Enfys Nest. Erin Kellerman is great. She's working on Willow for Lucasfilm. She did Marvel. She's part of the family. She still looks almost exactly as she did in Solo. Please give me an Enfys Nest kind of 5-minute, 2-minute cameo there in Saw's kind of camp.
If Enfys Nest shows up in Andor, someone will have to check on me because I will probably faint.
All right, I got your number. I'll text you at 6 a.m. or something.
Yes, because that would just because that's what I want the most.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Again, talking about servicing the story, being that protein, this is a character that makes sense to be in Andor in this time period with Saw Gerrera, or maybe not with Saw, but kind of in that middle line. We need to do something about the Empire. We need to move forward, not siding with the political side of it with Mon Mothma, more the kind of rebellious side with Saw. Come on, give us. Everyone wants more Enfys Nest. I think Mo put something about it. Did she put something?
Oh yeah, imagine the Cloud Riders in Andor. I imagine it every single day. And
Oh man, just give me that theme. I want to hear that.
That theme was incredible. And everyone loves Erin Kelly, man. Put her in the show.
Yeah, just give her a mask with some red and just start beating people up if needed. Maybe one of those flag smashers. They need flags. They were flag smashers. It's the same thing. It's a different helmet. So
flag smashers. Yeah. I remember when we were doing the reviews for Falcon, we were like, she's basically Enfys Nest.
Yeah, the same thing. Less cool weapons, just beating people up barehanded. So kind of finally with some of these possible cameos, Krennic or Tarkin or both. I say both, especially Tarkin, but I think again with maybe Krennic second season, but Tarkin, come on, Tarkin makes even more sense, I think, that Palpatine. So you gotta give me Tarkin.
if we were only getting one, I would say it's probably Tarkin. But man, I would love to see Ben Mendelsohn in the
Yeah,
show, and he does TV constantly. So
yeah,
I will. I want it to happen. I really want. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I really want it.
yeah. I don't. I'm trying to. So we don't know what Krennic was doing before working in the Death Star project.
Mhm.
From Catalyst, I think as soon as we meet him, he's working on this project. So it'll be cool. It'll be interesting to see what he's doing and maybe get some hints of, hey, I got this project for you. There's something going on. I want you to lead that. That'll be interesting. But with everything happening in the Senate, all those parties that Mon Mothma is having, when she tells this other guy, oh, if they really knew what I was up to. And we know from Catalyst, kind of Talking knows something is happening and he goes to these parties, are very intense scenes. Give me Talking there, kind of just
He's a
walking
very.
back.
I really want, but what gives me a little bit of um reserve with this is like I think we're getting new Imperial characters,
Yeah.
and I think like maybe having Krennic or Tarkin would take away from those characters. But I mean, there's probably a way to integrate everything and not take away anything from anyone.
Yeah, maybe something is there just for one scene, just to kind of remind everyone where things are kind of
Man,
happening.
but I really want the Empire to be scary. Like, I love it when they're
Yeah.
stupid and incompetent, but I really want like this, Schindler's List, Inglorious
Oh,
Bastards
yeah.
thing. Like, you're like sweating. You know Mothma's gonna be in Return of the Jedi, but you're like, is she gonna die?
Yeah, there's a lot of new characters. So let's jump into some of those new characters. And let's start with Biggs. Biggs Kalin. I'm going to call her Biggs Kalin, played by Adria Arjona, as we mentioned. Not a lot that we can gather from the trailers and some of the interviews. The only thing we know is that her and Cassian have this. Will they want their kind of love connection? They've been together. They've been friends for a long time. They kind of fall out of it, come back in. How much do? And again, I don't know what her kind of role is. Do you have any idea what you might want her to be doing in this series? Don't kill her, please. I know she's not in Rogue One, but please let her at least get to season 2. By your face, you're not too confident that that's going to happen.
No, I'm bracing for the controversy. But I was happy to admit this. Like with Kenobi, I did not see a scenario where Reva survived, and there it was. She survived. Yeah. So I don't know. Let's see. Again, so there is a way to keep her alive. Like if you really think about it, and Rogue One is just like a 2-day span in Andor's life. Like it's really a short moment. So did he have like this other person in the rebellion that we didn't see in those 2 days? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, she was waiting for him back on.
Wait, he died?
Yavin just wait. I was in the bathroom. Where'd he go?
He made out with the girl? What?
In an elevator, and then the planet blew. Well, good riddance, because he was supposed to be with me.
We were supposed to have a date. What the hell?
Yeah. I got R2 here getting all the reservations ready, and he jumped ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about. I thought she might played her brother first when she was kind of announced as part of his family. But yeah, I don't know. Just from that clip, they said they work together, stealing things or taking things from salvage yards. I have no idea what her character might be, what her role might actually be, how important she is to the overall story. Hoping that she doesn't die, and then that's the reason why Cassian kind of decides to do something. Maybe she's taken prisoner or something. I don't know.
Don't fridge her.
Yeah. Oh man.
I have a question, Alberto. Are you a Ricardo Arjona fan?
No, I don't listen to a lot of Spanish music. What's the word? I know that he's a very talented artist, and I can listen to songs of his. I'm not rushing out to buy his new albums or go to see him live. But yeah, hey, that's a great song. If I sit there and pay attention to the lyrics, I probably, oh man, you're breaking my heart. But it's not the type of music that I usually follow, especially when I was growing up and he was kind of famous in the late 90s, early 2000s. so I know who he is.
He's very famous in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
and which is why she was born here because he's always here. I hate Ricardo.
Okay, I'm good.
I just
That was
wanted to
first
get
of all,
that
I
out
don't
there.
know. Yeah,
It's been a while since I said it out loud.
you were waiting for this. Finally, I can say it out to the world. But yeah, hopefully she has a good role to play in the series. We talked a little bit about Stellan Skarsgård character Luthen. He's the most of all these new characters. Kind of a lot of focus on him. Sometimes he has short hair. Sometimes he has a weird wig. Is he playing? It looks like he's not playing both sides. But I don't know if he's part of this group of senators or if he's just trying to pass as a kind of a highborn when he goes to talk to them. Because I think it's more to decide that kind of down on the ground, not with the higher ups in the penthouses.
I'm very confused with this character because every time we see a picture, does he have a twin brother? I don't know.
Just throws his suit up very aggressively.
Oh yeah, I love that he's just like a stereotypical Stellan Skarsgård character.
Yeah.
And he just
Cassian Andor.
My whole goal of this show is to learn how to pronounce it like him because I love it. Cassian Andor.
Yeah, you are not gonna get it, but no. Yeah, I don't know. One character that might die might be him.
Oh, no, he's definitely dying.
Maybe the one that Tarkin kind of puts in his place. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's a senator, if it's boots on the ground and then it's trying to pass as a highborn or whatever to Mon Mothma. I don't know.
What if he takes like Andor's tips and like decides to infiltrate the Senate and he's like, yeah, I'm a senator.
Yeah, they wouldn't think that you're just walking there like you belong. I don't know. It's a very interesting character because he looks so different in every scene. He looks weird and different. So he has a cool ship. That ship that he uses is pretty cool. Then we have Denise Gao playing Dedra Miro, which is this Imperial.
The blonde?
Yeah, with the white Imperial garb, kind of. She's kind of the one. What's the one from Rebels? With a little bob and the blue eyes.
I can't remember her name, but I know.
What was her?
I'm gonna look it up if you want.
Yeah, someone will tell us soon in the chat, but I like her because I want to see more kind of female Imperials putting the boot down on everyone. Yeah. And it said, I was going to leave it when we talk about Cyril Khan, which is played by Cal Solar.
Governor Price.
Erinda Price. Come on. Yes. Again, another one that could appear on this show. The timelines work. Give me Price.
You know what, Alberto, to your point, every time we get like a female Imperial, they're usually like ruthless.
Yes.
Price. And in the comics, I can't remember her name right now, but in Charles Soule's run, there's this Imperial who's like, she was like apprentice to Tarkin, and she actually uses Tarkin's ship, which is like almost broken in half after the Battle of Yavin. And man, she's like evil.
Yeah, and she looks evil, and I want a lot of with her, and to be like you said, that ruthless person out there. And it says, so one of the, I think the actor Cal Solar said it, that Cyril experiences a loss, which I think is the loss of his parents, or at least is that, and regains strength through finding Dedra. So they have that connection. Mo despises Price.
I wonder why.
Yes. So,
R.I.P.
No. Yes. We're not going down that rabbit hole now. But now we have this Cyril and Dedra have this connection. He finds strength through her. Do you think we're gonna finally see an Imperial romance? I don't think we've ever seen a romance from the Imperial side. I think that also would be interesting, and also see how maybe she manipulates him into going after Cassian because he wants to deal with Cassian because of whatever happened. So very interesting in that dynamic.
I think the closest thing is probably Lost Stars, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Live action. Let me.
Yeah. No. Just like in general, I think that's the closest thing we've had. So it would be interesting. Man, as I mentioned, like my fear with Tarkin and Krennic is them taking away from these characters because I just love learning more about the Empire, and these higher up Imperials, or maybe like people trying to climb the ladder, they're usually so interesting.
Yeah, same
And
like Krennic when we met Krennic in Rogue
yeah,
One, same thing.
yeah. So I'm very excited for these two characters specifically.
Yeah, when the first images started coming out and we got the first trailer and even the second one, I for some reason I thought that Cyril Karn, yeah, Karn,
Yeah.
I think that he was gonna flip, that he was
Okay.
gonna have a heel turn and turn to the rebels. But the more I see and the more I read, I found that hard to believe. I think
Yeah.
he's steadfast on his quest, and I think Deidre is gonna have a lot to do with it. But yeah, just give me more. I want to see the Imperial side, other inner workings. It's something I mentioned 100 times. Why I'm so excited about this show, even though I'm a rebel, kind of. I prefer the rebels obviously to the Empire. We don't know really how the Empire works and see that the inner workings of it, plus the people just doing their day-to-day job. Hey, today I gotta go work in the Imperial Senate and I don't
Gotta
know,
get my boss
replenish the
some.
drinks. Yeah, and I
Yeah,
want to see that.
gotta get some calf from my boss.
Yeah, God damn, he's always here early, so that means I have to be here early. But are you in? Is this something you want to see apart from the big generals and something just the regular
Yeah,
people
no,
going
no,
to
no.
work?
Yeah, no. That's why so the whole fan servicing, like, yeah, I mentioned Leia, but she's a kid at this point. Like, I really want this to be like a very grounded show. Like,
Yeah,
we spend time with like all levels of this hierarchy of the
Mhm.
Empire and the Rebellion, but of course, like, spending more time with the lower ranks and seeing like what the day to day is. And I think we're gonna get a lot of it.
yeah, and I think again, whatever his name is, we mentioned 20 times. Sorry, I forgot the name of the showrunner. Um,
Tony Gilroy.
yeah, Tony Gilroy. I think he mentioned recently this, or maybe it was Diego Luna. That again, the most grounded, and we're gonna get a lot of that. At least he mentioned from the. He said regular people, but hopefully means also regular people from the Empire side. And I mentioned before the solo novelization, which I got just because I wanted to learn more about L3 when she joined the Falcon. That part is great, but it also goes into a lot of detail. Have you read it, the solo novelization, or no?
I've read excerpts.
All right. So, and the when Han and Kira go to the spaceport to Coronet, and this Imperial person working behind the window that tells them, "Hey, give me that coaxium, and then I'll let you go." It's a whole scene. I don't know, like 5 or 10 pages of her waking up and having to get ready to go work in this job she doesn't want, and she knows all the rules. The Empire, you can only wear this shade of red of lipsticks, and she goes a shade darker, a shade brighter, just to. They won't know, but there's some little things that she does to kind of get back at them. And she takes gifts and steals a couple of things just to, you're not giving me a decent pay, I'm gonna do this. And that's why she wants the coaxium. Give me that. Give me more of that, of regular people just.
Yeah, no, and to that point, if you guys are interested in like more characters like this, I've talked about this book before, Resistance Reborn. The main villain is just like this random first order person, like this mill manager, and we spend time with him, his interns, and we get a little bit of that day in the life, that whole like, where's my calf, and things like that.
Yeah, and in Rebel Rising, we also get when Jean, I forget the name she was, when she's on the space station. That's where we get a lot of regular rank Imperial people just making a mess of her day. All right, so let's start wrapping this up. Let me see what else. We talked a little bit about droids. So let's bring in the new droid, B2 Emo. B2 Emo. First off, love the name, love the design. I don't know how it's gonna work. He's this salvage droid. We talked a little bit about who's gonna die, who's gonna survive. I'm afraid. I'm gonna say I'm afraid for B2's fate. Do you think he'll survive?
No. we know he gets a new shiny toy. Oh, you know what would be interesting?
I had a question. I want to see if it lines up. Go ahead.
What if K2 has like the personality chip of this droid or something?
Oh man, that'd be
cool.
That'd be cool. That's a good connection. I'll give you that one. We're not getting K2 here. I think season 2 they said we'll get K2. I think we'll get a K2 droid at one point. Just
played
for people
by
to
Alan Tudyk.
whatever. Maybe it doesn't matter. You're just gonna be walking around.
I think we'll get it at the end of the season or something. Because man, it was just like this massive like blooper, like having because when the show got announced, they were
Yeah,
both on the stage, like, "Oh, we're coming back," and no, Alan
yeah.
Tudyk's not gonna be in the first season.
But then I read recently that they switched, they changed a lot of the script because it was a
Yeah.
different showrunner and
Yes.
they had this other idea. So probably that's where the switch happened. But I don't think K2SO is going to be at all in this series. But
Okay.
I think at some point where Cassian is in an Imperial whatever, we're going to have a K2 droid just walking. Maybe he's getting chased by one, just so for people to kind of know what the real kind of danger is for those droids. And then kind of make the connection when we see them again in season 2. But yeah, what you said will be very interesting.
No.
All right, so we're not getting any Jedi. We already know that. Diego said it. Are we gonna get mentions of Jedi or the Clone Wars? Because that's the reason why we're here. Do you think we're gonna get mentions of one of those two?
Yeah, no, I definitely think we're gonna get some conversations. It's gonna be a long season, so I think there's definitely room for this, and I'm expecting it. And I really hope we get into the whole Cassian was a separatist thing.
Yes, it was mostly his family, right? Or was he also?
Yeah, but he was raised like this, so
Yeah.
it's like in my case, I was raised by Cubans, so it's like if I suddenly I join a communist cell or something, like I want to see those conversations.
I gotta delete this episode. They'll be coming for you afterwards. You get a Cubans communist on your show. YouTube already knocked this down. We're just talking to ourselves now.
Thankfully, what's left of my Cuban family does not know what YouTube is.
It's that algorithm, man. We'll get to it.
My grandmother suddenly is like, "Oh, what's that back pain I'm getting?" Talk of communists.
Yeah, just ear starts ringing.
Yeah.
We have to. Maybe not Jedi, but there has to be some mention to the Clone Wars or what happened to all the Jedi. Why are we here? There has to be some mention. You also have that connection to the prequels and everything that happened before.
Yeah.
All right, so let's end. I think this is my last question. If you have something else to add, of course, we'll talk about it. But we know season 1 is 5 years before Rogue One, and then season 2, each 3 episodes is going to jump 1 year. We also know that the rebellion does have a big win till Rogue One, till the end. Will season 1 end on a hopeful note for the rebellion or for the rebels? Or is this going to end with the Empire kind of putting the brakes on them and then kind of this cliffhanger to, all right, season 2, it's when things are going to start going good for them?
I don't think it'll end on a bad note for them because they really don't like exist as a unit until later on, like just these random cells. So I don't think it can't end like on a crushing defeat because we know Mothma gets to build the actual rebellion. So I don't think they'll have like this huge cliffhanger. I think like it'll end like with him joining and setting up. Okay, now adventures are coming.
I don't know. I thought about it this morning. They don't get a win till Rogue One, but then I started thinking, like you said, there's a bunch of Rebel cells out there, just cells, and even in Rebels, a TV show, they have all these little wins that they keep having, and this is later that they all join up. So I think, they might have a little win that kind of then, okay, now this pushes the story to season 2.
Question: are we gonna get Akbar or Radis in the show?
Oh man.
If we get Radis, I'm
Give me Radis. Oh man, Radis. That's gonna be, Give me Radis. Can we get mention of?
This is my intern, Akbar.
Go get me a coffee.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Give me a wrap.
It's a calf.
Yeah, and then we can get the discussion once some of them are white or dark blue or red, and then we have to watch all the other shows.
Mon calamaris are so weird.
Dude, that's kind of just stitch something up together and put him on camera. We need an alien. Oh, it's a
They have a lobster costume.
We got a lobster, and it's a calamari because we're from Mont Cala. We're so original, but they're great. And without them, the rebellion will be dead because they have the profundity and all this shit. But Radus, give us Radus. Can we see? I don't know, because I think Andor is the first. What's the name of the? Oh man. the spy network,
Fulcrum.
Fulcrum. I think Cassian is the first Fulcrum. We're not getting.
I think we're. Are we gonna get Ahsoka?
That's where I was kind of
I don't think
going.
so. I really don't think so. But
Please no.
maybe in
Again,
season 2, one of the adventures.
again, it makes sense. It's
As
time
we
period. It makes sense.
okay, as we get closer to the Rebel timeline, it it gets weird if they don't meet. I don't know
Mhm.
how the Fulcrum Network really works. I don't know if they have like meetings constantly or they're just like people that only Bale knows. But I could see her showing up.
Yeah, maybe season 2 they do a Boba Fett Mando play. That one episode is Ahsoka meeting with the Rebel cast, just going on an adventure there. Kill me,
Oh,
then I'll die. That will be. I said I don't wonder. Just give me. That would be freaking great.
Ahsoka, Andor, and the Rebel crew. We're in the Ghost for the entire
No,
episode.
I
With
mean, if
K2,
it's that, the Empire would have lost years ago.
K2SO, and Chopper meeting.
See who can kill each other first. Oh man, it would be great if we get someone from the Rebel crew. We know we're getting, and I'm gonna lose all my followers now. What's her name? The pilot.
Hera Syndulla.
Hera Syndulla. Her
If she shows
awesome.
up, you guys are gonna have to resurrect me.
She might. She's in Ahsoka. She might show up in again. It makes sense. She's part of these rebel cells more than the other crew members of the Ghost. Okay, let's forget about it. Are we getting at least the Ghost? Can we see the Ghost?
You know what? I'm not banking anything on we seeing anything from Rebels. Honestly, I don't think Tony Gilroy has seen Rebels. I don't think he cares about Rebels.
Post production. He doesn't know. They'll do that in post.
An entire arc in
Just
post.
there. Yeah. All right. Anything else? I think we covered a lot of what we might see in season 1 of Andor.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very, very
Yeah,
excited.
very excited. I'm just gonna highlight the last comment from Mo, just correcting us on everything Rebels and Saw Gerrera. That Fulcrum starts with Saw, but Cassian does take the title at some point.
Okay.
So maybe we do get a mention of Fulcrum. All right, so that does it for our Andor speculation or Andor talk. Again, if you're watching this now, thanks. Leave all your comments on the chat of what you hope to see during the Andor series, season 1, season 2, whatever, down in the comments if you're watching this later. But now, let's go to a new segment of the show. And we mentioned a little bit. It's called, and I had a different title screen, I should say. I'm going with the basic one. A World Between Fandoms, where we talked not just about Star Wars, but about all the other geek, nerd, what do we want to call popular culture now, happenings out there in the world. I had another intro. It was too loud. The way I recorded it was too loud. I was going to blow our eardrums, so I didn't want to use it. I just went with a simple one. So, Ote, you mentioned you have a similar section of your show where you look at different fandoms or different fandoms through the eyes of Star Wars, more or less. I didn't want to do that same thing, but I wanted to. I've been thinking about this for over a year.
You just wanted to talk about Rings of Power. Just say it.
Of course. Let me get. I need it. And next week will probably be Rings of Power for 50 minutes and 10 minutes of Star Wars. Because I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. But probably about a year or so ago, when we had like Wheels of Time, was this other one on Netflix I just called. Anyway, there's a bunch of. No, not Stranger Things. This other fantasy show.
Sandman.
No, Sandman just came out. It was from last year.
Oh, last year?
Yeah, it's this YA. Used to be a book. I call it The Fold because my daughter calls it The Fold. It's the Ben Barnes is in it. Anyway, whatever. Just people know. Yeah. Season 2 is coming. Anyway, there's a lot of fantasy and sci-fi shows out there that I wanted to talk about. But I didn't have the time or the desire to do a separate podcast about it because I will probably be like you looking for a new place because I would get kicked out of my house if I started another podcast. But I wanted to find
Bone.
Shadow and Bone. Thank you, that one, which I love that series, not knowing anything about it. And then Rings of Power gets announced, House of Dragon gets announced. We have all the MCU stuff because I love comics and I love the MCU. all these things with DC. So I wanted to find a way to talk about them. So I decided finally, you know what? Rings of Power is coming out, and I need to have an outlet for it. And then I kind of decided, let's just dedicate 10 to 15 minutes of this show, either at the middle or at the end, like we're doing today, and just talk about the latest episodes or the latest movie that came out or whatnot, and see how it goes. I know Otto is kind of frozen, which means he's not here right now. Well, he'll get here in a minute. There he is.
I'm here. Power outage.
All right, there we go. A World Between Fandoms. Yeah, it was my in-laws still live in Puerto Rico, and one of my brothers. So every time the power goes out, we hear about it. I know there was a big one about 2 days ago or something. They lost power for, I think, the whole day.
Thankfully, my parents have a generator that turns on automatically.
Yeah.
But
all right. So hopefully you heard everything that I just said. Basically, I needed that. Yeah. Even if you heard,
I caught like glimpses as the Wi-Fi was coming back and everything.
Anyway, long story short, I needed an outlet to talk about all these other fantasy and sci-fi series and movies, and I didn't want to start a new podcast for it. So we're doing about a 10 to 15 minutes. It won't be deep dives like we do for Star Wars because it will be another hour. But you know what? Let's start. And before, the main thing we're going to be talking about in these 10 to 15 minutes is going to be House of the Dragon. But before we get to it, like I mentioned, also I love the MCU. I used to read comics growing up, so I watch all the Marvel movies, watch all the shows. And the one going out now is She-Hulk, which you said you haven't watched. So there's 2 episodes in. Are you excited? Not excited, but are you looking forward to catching up at some point, or are you just kind of, I can wait?
Oh. So as I told you, like I'm in this like it's too much Marvel phase right now. But
yeah.
the reason I have not watched it is, and it's like a very maybe a little bit fandom menace of me. I have not been like the trailers have. I was very excited for the show. I like the idea of making it like this comedy thing and the whole legal procedural thing. I love She-Hulk in the comics. She's a great character. She's a very important character.
Mm-hmm.
But man, the trailers just like took my hype and like ran it through the floor. Like everything from the vibe it showed, and of course the CGI issues that people have been like relentlessly talking about. So I made this conscious effort. Like I'm gonna hold off watching it. Gonna wait for like maybe 3 to 4 episodes to come out, and then I'm gonna watch it because I'm afraid like if I don't like the first episode, it's just like gonna take me out of it. So I really just want to build a cushion of what I can watch. So I've been purposely like holding off on it.
I would say wait, and I don't want to be another downer. What I've been interested in watching it. I didn't read any She-Hulk comics when they were out, at least when I read comics back in the 90s. I enjoyed the trailers. I didn't care that the CGI wasn't perfect at that point because I knew they still had like a month, and most of the CGI now looks great.
That's good to hear.
I've liked it. I haven't been jumping up and down. I've enjoyed Miss Marvel more than this. And it's both of them were those kind of more leaning to the comedy side. I prefer the Miss Marvel.
Did you like Miss Marvel?
Yes, I really enjoyed Miss Marvel. It's not going to be on my top. I know a lot of people were always the best finale for a Marvel show. It was a good finale. I really like the vibe. I love the family. I love her mother.
Her mom's great.
Her mother was my favorite character. She-Hulk, I think, because when the press was able to see some of the advances, they watched 4 episodes. Because I think everything that people, I watched the first 4 episodes and they're great. I think there was a reason they showed them 4, like you said. I watched the first episode. Okay, we get the kind of background of how she became She-Hulk, and she has everything. Almost everything is with Bruce Banner. They were great together. Nothing against Tatiana Maslany. She does great. All the actors, they're great. Just but this second episode, same thing. It was okay. Didn't blow me.
How long are they?
They're 30. The first one was 35 minutes, I think. Second one is 30 minutes. But that's counting the previously on, which is about a minute and a half, and the
like
credits.
25.
And the credits, which is another 4 minutes. So that's a 25-minute episode. I think they're too short. And I know they have that vibe of, oh, let's just be a 30-minute kind of broadcast thing.
Comedy.
To me, it's not working. To me, it's too short because every episode is a serial. It's not a continuation. Kind of every episode stands on its own a little bit. Hopefully, it gets better. I'm not.
Okay.
Wow, I can't wait till next Thursday. It's like, eh, I understand now why they moved Andor, because if this and Andor came out at the same time, no one would be talking about She-Hulk, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Hopefully, it gets better as it gets along. We got Abomination, the second episode, which is great. There's some little hints of things to come.
Okay.
And the comedy is not blowing me away. So
I'll just say, like, Hulk comics in the past 5 years have been incredible.
Yeah.
So, like, I've been craving like a good Hulk story, and as I'm not a huge like She-Hulk title comics, but she's a part of many events in Marvels, and she's always been I mean, she's the lawyer of everyone in the Marvel universe. So
I wait, and that kind of takes a little bit in the second episode. Hopefully, we start getting. I think that's the rest of the episode. I think it's 9-episode season. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think hopefully, no.
He has not showed up.
No Daredevil yet.
Okay.
It will come at some point. And something happens with Hulk at the end of the second episode that pushes his story somewhere. Very interesting. I'm not gonna pushes his story to do something. What?
Is he a recurring character in the show?
First 2 episodes, yes. Okay. I'll leave it there.
And then he goes to the Shang-Chi after credit.
You want me to tell you or no? Just watch the show.
Tell me.
I don't remember the Shang-Chi after. I do remember a little bit.
He's there, I think.
So Shang-Chi has something to do. Not him, but what happened in Shang-Chi, because Abomination has to do with something in episode 2. But Hulk is something happens that Hulk has to go deal with something, and that's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
Okay, interesting.
All right, so I think that was about 5 or 6 minutes. So let's spend the next 10 minutes as we close the show talking about the big one out there, House of the Dragon, this prequel per se of Game of Thrones ended up about 5 years ago. I don't know. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. I didn't mind the finale. It could have been better, but it's okay. House of the Dragon, how excited were you?
As I've mentioned, I'm like one of the 3 people that like the last season of Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say something very controversial. Like, I think the season before the last one is the worst season of the show. That's my opinion. But it's fine. But I was very, very hyped up. I did not watch it on Sunday. I watched it the next morning, but got to work late because of it.
All right. Yeah, I watched it. My kids went to sleep around 9:15 or something, so I watched it on Sunday night. I'll probably do the same thing tomorrow. So I think the best way to go about this, because if not, we'll spend 45 minutes. Give me 2 to 3 things that you really enjoyed about the first episode, and then 1 thing that you didn't like. And I'll do the same. Then I'm gonna call it a day. I think that's a way to kind of do this segment.
I loved Matt Smith. I loved his introduction, and those first 2 scenes with him. I adored. I loved the reveal at the end of the legend that's going on.
Sure. And I should say, this is spoilers. This segment will be spoilers for everything we talked about. So if you're watching and you haven't watched, you can kind of click off and then come back after you watch the first episode. But yeah, we'll do spoilers.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't know if you want to mention some things while I think, but...
All right, so I'll start with this. Oh, I got to start with dragons. Come on, you put a dragon on TV, I'm hooked. And I love the dragons that we got here. They're going to be very instrumental to the show. And I love that there's a reason why all the dragons look a certain way, act a certain way. The showrunners talked about this a few weeks ago, that I don't know how many iterations of dragons they went through. But each of them has a different kind of personality, different reasons why they look the way that they look. The Game of Thrones dragons were great, There were different in size and color. Basically, these guys, there's a different purpose. And I don't know the name of the characters. Rhaenyra, I think is the
Rhaenyra.
name of the princess. Her dragon looks great. He has like some fur or something around the neck.
Yeah,
And then Matt Smith, black and red giant dragon. It's like,
epic.
I want that one. I want to be a dragon rider. So that's the first thing. I love dragons. I love how they're here. And his dragon looks just like him, just kind of, there's something wrong in his head. So I love
Yeah,
that. I love Matt Smith. Again, coming out of
he
Doctor
was
Who, which
great.
I just finished his run, he's just demented. And he works perfectly in that role. And what he does with the yellow cloaks, that's going to be scary with the season going. But I love, like, he knows that he should be the one, the heir. But the way he kind of, hey, it's your fault. You didn't want me in the council. You didn't want me doing this. You're the one that told me to go kind of run with these people and take care of the city because I'm kind of losing the head, which is what the king tells the hand. So I love that. I'm very interested to see where his character goes now that he wasn't named the heir. So very interested to see how that goes. Do you have another one?
I loved how focused the story seems
Mhm.
to be.
Yeah.
The pilot of Game of Thrones is very overwhelming in that first season where you're jumping around, meeting all
Mhm.
these key players. This show seems to be about the Targaryens and these three specific Targaryens. I think as the show goes on, I know a little bit of how the story's going to go because I know a little bit about the lore, but I think it's going to stay very focused on the dynamic between Daemon and Rhaenyra. And I like that. I
Yeah.
because for me, it's like, yes, this is Game of Thrones. This is the world. You're getting the sex, you're getting the violence, but in that sense, it felt a little bit differently, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. I enjoyed the first episode because it's an established world. We don't need to go through 45 minutes of world building in terms that you know where you are. It starts basically with a tournament to just kind of name the air, which just great. Give us that's what we needed. One of the things that I didn't like, the guy that plays the king, uh, since I see him in other things more in a comedic side, I
Takes you
don't
out.
it kind of, and the wig looks weird. It's like, I don't know, you don't give me that vibe of
Okay.
this great king sitting on the iron throne. And even though I enjoyed that prologue that we started, that cold opening, I for some reason I'm like, okay, you're trying to be Game of Thrones, you're not Game of Thrones. Maybe it took me a little bit to get into it,
Okay.
but after that I was on it. So just
Yeah.
those two things I was kind of, I don't know, give me,
Okay.
I don't know how long this king is gonna be there, but I
Yeah.
don't know, it's something about it just didn't work for me.
I think my biggest complaint is how the birth scene made me so uncomfortable.
And I would have put that. I'm glad. I'll give it Maggie. Love it again. She tweeted out something about, "Hey, be careful for this birthing scene. It's a C-section and think it's Game of Thrones basically, so you can expect how it's gonna go." So I was ready for something. If not, I would. Oh no, I can't watch. So I would put
I
that on my no list, but I knew it was coming.
it was a horrific scene, and
Yeah.
y- I mean, I think it could rub people the wrong way. I think it was. I don't know. I don't know how you saw it. I thought it was like well handled because I don't think Viserys is the hero in any of this.
No.
And it was a horrifying scene. It was very visceral, I must say.
And I think it was very visual, very just visually striking. But it also, and then I didn't like him. I think the Viserys, the guy playing him, did a great job in that scene. When if you have that impossible choice, right? Either save
They
the
both
baby
die,
and your wife is gonna die, or do nothing and most likely both are gonna die. That's an impossible choice. And then his wife kind of, hey, what's going on? And why they're cutting me? He's like trying to calm her down. Oh, the baby's coming, the baby's coming. I think that worked great. His scene in there was
that
great.
was horrible.
And then again, and that puts it on us. How would we act in that situation? Maybe in a father and my wife had two C-sections. Thankfully, they were in a hospital with doctors and nurses and anesthesiologists.
And in
But that's a choice.
2022
Yeah,
and 2020.
yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do in that situation. Hopefully, we'll never know. So, in that sense, that worked. But just watching it, yeah,
And I think what made it worse was like, if the mom's unconscious and like you have to make the choice, but she was conscious and she was saying, no, don't do
yeah.
this. Oh
And,
my God.
and it
That was
kind of that foreshadowing. She told him, "This is my last one. I'm sorry if you don't get an heir. I've lost like 4 already."
that scene was great, by the way.
Yeah.
I really like that scene.
And it worked. I thought the baby had survived. And I'm like, what the show is supposed to be these 2 heirs. And then when the reveal is that, oh man, that hit me.
Yeah, and the actor who plays Viserys, you could see the pain in his eyes.
Yeah.
He was just devastated.
Maybe not the way.
I really liked the episode, honestly, and it made me very excited for what's to come.
Yeah, and we'll talk about next week. I don't know how we're gonna do this in 10 minutes, 50 minutes next week, because we have this plus Ring of Powers.
Yes.
But I don't know what our episode Star Wars wise is gonna be. I was gonna do a speculation about D23 and Disney Plus Day, but I don't want to.
You're gonna make me wear the shirt again.
No, I don't think there's a lot to talk about. It's been so quiet. I don't think we're getting a lot.
It's terrible for podcasting, but I like it.
Yeah. I don't know. We have a week to think about. Just send me a topic. We can a favorite starships or something. We'll do that.
I'd love to do that.
There we go. Next week,
favorite starships.
Our episode is gonna be, and I almost said ships, but I know that can take a left turn, so I said starships. We'll do our favorite starships next week.
Like the Geeky Waffle crew.
We'll have everyone here. Just we'll do that, and then probably 20 minutes on the other on World Between Fandoms. But all right, Oti, Mo, I still need to finish. First time. Oh, Mo. Hyperventilating now. So, all right, Mo, finish it. Just watch it. Go to HBO Max right now.
You're on a journey, Mo.
Yeah, get a lot of coffee. Watch The Hobbit also if you want. But anyway. All right. Oti, where can people find you? All that fun stuff.
Over whatever it says down there at Instagram and Twitter. And Alberto always leaves the links down below. Yes, Mo, I know they're long. It's fine. It sucks.
That's the beauty of it.
It's a chore, but it's a great chore.
Yes, it's a 5-hour chore that I'll take every day. Maybe when we start Ring of Power, I might make a confession. I don't know. I'm not ready to.
I have a Lord of the Rings confession I can say next week.
All right. So let me write it now. We need confession time.
Okay. Yeah, no, but you can find me over whatever it says down there. I'm sure Alberto leaves the links. And links
down below. So I don't know. It's weird to finish a show like, okay, we're done. Bye. We gotta say where people can find us, but Radio Rebel Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and new episodes every Saturday at 5. We're inching closer to our sequel trilogy trivia challenge. Competitors are set. Like I said before, the questions are ready. So it's gonna be something. I know it's the same day that the podathon is going on, but that's no problem. That's why these shows are on YouTube, and you can watch them wherever you want. It's always great if you watch them live because we have a lot of fun doing them. But if you're here, thank you. If you're listening later, thank you also. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you watch your podcast. And follow us on all the places and subscribe. Stay safe. Be safe. May the force be with you.
Woo.